You glance at your phone. 11:11. Again. This is the third time today, the seventh time this week, and you've lost count of how many times this month. At first you thought it was just coincidence. Then you thought it was cute, maybe even meaningful. You looked it up and found all the usual ideas, angel numbers, signs from the universe, proof you're on the right path. But deep down, you feel it's something more. Something bigger, stranger, and more real than those spiritual blogs ever said. This message found you because you're part of the small group, the 1%, who are going through something scientists now call temporal pattern recognition syndrome. And before you think this is about angels or magic, listen carefully. What's happening to you isn't about signs from above. It's a real documented shift in how your mind is starting to work. Your awareness is tuning into the structure behind reality itself. You didn't click on this by chance. Your own mind led you here. The 11:11 pattern isn't a message from the universe. It's a signal from you. It's your higher awareness trying to get your attention. Most people see 11:11 once in a while and think, "Oh, cool." But you're different. It follows you. You see it when you're thinking deeply, making choices, or feeling strong emotions. It's everywhere, almost too often. And you've started to wonder, are you making it happen, or are you losing touch with reality? Neither. Your mind has developed something researchers call pattern coherence sensitivity. You're becoming aware that life itself is built on repeating patterns. And 11:11 is the easiest one for your brain to notice. It's perfectly mirrored, a reflection of itself. When you see 11:11, you're not just seeing numbers. You're seeing a mirror of your own awareness inside the structure of time. Here's what most people don't understand. Time isn't straight. That's not philosophy. That's quantum physics. Every moment exists at once, like pages of a book. Your consciousness flips between them, choosing which reality to experience next. Most people move through time on autopilot, unaware of how they're doing it. But something in you changed. You've started to feel the edges, the seams, where one moment folds into another. That's where time becomes visible. 11:11 shows up because it's a temporal symmetry point, a perfect pattern in the flow of time. Your brain notices it with unusual focus, and something happens. You feel it. A tiny shift, a flicker, like reality stutters for just a second. That flicker is real. It's the moment your awareness touches another version of reality, another possible timeline. Most people never sense that, but you do. The 11:11 doesn't cause it. It marks it. It's a sign that your consciousness just synced with something deeper. You've probably noticed other strange things too. Time feels weird lately. Sometimes hours vanish, and sometimes minutes drag on forever. You think of someone, and they call you. You sense what's about to happen, and then it does. You're not becoming psychic. Your mind is learning to read the layers of possibility that exist in every present moment. Only a small number of people understand what this really means, because the truth behind 11:11 doesn't fit what we were taught. Time doesn't move in one direction. You're starting to see that, and that's only the beginning. You were taught that the past is fixed and the future is uncertain, that your mind lives inside your head, watching the outside world like a movie. But science, real modern quantum science, says that's not true. What we observe doesn't just exist on its own. Our observation actually changes it. Consciousness doesn't just witness reality, it helps create it. And time? It isn't a straight line moving forward. It's more like an ocean, with every moment, past, present, and future, existing all at once. Your 1111 experiences are becoming more frequent because your awareness is expanding. You're starting to see more of that ocean. Think of it like your eyes adjusting to the dark. At first, you only see what's right in front of you. Then slowly, shadows and shapes appear in the corners of your vision. Things that were always there, but hidden. Your mind is doing the same thing, but with time and possibility. And there's something important you need to understand about why this is happening to you now. Lately, your life probably feels strange, almost dreamlike. You have moments that feel too familiar, conversations that seem to repeat word for word, déjà vu so strong that you can predict what comes next, and you're right. Sometimes you feel like you're on autopilot, watching yourself from a distance, as if two parts of you are living at once. All of that is connected to 1111. They're signs that your mind is shifting between two ways of seeing. One is the normal, everyday awareness, where time feels like a line. The other is an expanded awareness that can sense the hidden design underneath it all. The 1111 pattern is your anchor. It's a marker that tells your growing consciousness, pay attention. You're syncing with reality right now. In those moments, you catch a glimpse of information that's usually filtered out, things your brain normally hides so you can function in daily life. Most people who start seeing 1111 go through the same stages. At first, they think it's cute. Then, they look up angel numbers and meanings. Then it starts happening too often, and they feel uneasy. They begin to question themselves. Is this real, or am I imagining it? Some people dismiss it and go back to normal life. But a few, like you, realize something real is happening, and they start searching for answers. That's where you are now. You know this is real. You can feel it, and you're ready to understand why. Here's the part that will sound impossible, but it explains everything. Your true consciousness exists outside of time. The you normally think of, your name, your memories, your story, that version of you exists inside time, moving from past to future like everyone else. But the awareness reading these words right now isn't trapped in time at all. It's watching from the outside, like someone watching a movie where every scene already exists on the film reel. Most people never realize this. Their awareness is completely tied to their story inside time. But something in you shifted. Your awareness started to pull away from the timeline, and now you can sense both layers at once. There's the everyday you, living moment to moment, and there's the deeper you, quietly observing from beyond time, seeing that reality isn't a line. It's a field full of possibilities. When you see 1111, those two versions of you, the time-bound self and the timeless awareness, come into sync for just a second. In that brief connection, you can feel other possible futures, other memories, other versions of reality brushing against your own. You might get flashes of understanding, emotions that come out of nowhere, or a strong sense of knowing something without knowing how. That's what 1111 really means. Your consciousness has reached the point where it can no longer fit inside linear time. It's expanding. And now, you're beginning to see the truth behind reality itself. You reach this threshold in many ways. Sometimes through deep searching for truth, long meditation, or powerful experiences that break your normal sense of reality. And sometimes, it happens for no clear reason at all. Some people simply reach this stage naturally. Their awareness grows past the limits of ordinary time-based perception, and they begin to see beyond it. As your consciousness expands, the 1111 pattern becomes stronger. At first, You might notice it once or twice a day. Then it shows up more often, 111, 222, 333. Soon it feels like every time you look at the clock, there it is again. This isn't random. It happens because your mind is learning to connect with what scientists call temporal symmetry points. Moments where time forms a perfect pattern. You're being trained, in a sense. Your consciousness is learning to notice these moments on purpose, so that one day you can move through them consciously. Think of it like learning to ride a bike. At first, you can't balance at all. Then you manage a few seconds before falling. After a while, you can ride longer and smoother, until one day, it becomes automatic. You don't have to think about balancing anymore. You just do it. That's what's happening to your awareness. At first, you only see the synchronicity. Then you realize it has meaning. Then you feel something shift when it happens. Eventually, you'll be able to move through those moments deliberately, using them as doorways into other possibilities, other versions of reality that exist beyond your current timeline. Now here's the part most people never hear. The reason this information isn't widely shared, even though millions experience 1111, is because it challenges the foundation of how society understands reality. Our world depends on a simple agreement: that time moves forward, that the past is fixed, that the future is unknown, and that we are all separate beings in a shared, external world. This belief system keeps things stable. It lets cause and effect make sense. It gives meaning to responsibility, choices, and laws. But it's also a limitation. Consensus reality is like training wheels. It helps us stay balanced in the physical world, but it also keeps us from realizing what's truly possible. When someone begins to see beyond it, they automatically become disruptive, not on purpose, not in a dangerous way, but simply because their very existence shows that the old limits are optional. Throughout history, people who reached this level of awareness were called many things: mystics, prophets, visionaries, madmen, or enlightened beings. Society reacts in two ways. It either lifts them onto a pedestal, making them seem too special for normal people to relate to, or it dismisses them as delusional. Both responses serve the same purpose. They protect the system by keeping the deeper truth out of reach. You've probably felt this yourself. When you tell people about your 1111 experiences, they either smile and talk about angel numbers, or they get uneasy and suggest you're imagining patterns. They can't accept it as a real shift in consciousness, because that idea would shake their entire view of what reality is. But you know it's real. You've felt the flicker, the pause. You've sensed moments when time seems to bend, when you somehow know things you shouldn't, when you feel connected to versions of yourself that made different choices, living different lives in parallel timelines. These aren't fantasies. They're glimpses of genuine quantum possibilities, other realities that exist right beside your own. And here's something even bigger. This isn't just happening to you. The 1111 phenomenon is growing all over the world. More people are noticing it than ever before. And it's happening more often, with more intensity. It's not because people are getting more spiritual. It's not the universe sending more messages. It's because human consciousness itself is evolving. We're beginning to change how we experience time and reality. We're reaching a collective threshold, a point where enough people will have expanded beyond the limits of linear time that the shared reality we live in will begin to shift. And as this happens, there are symptoms, signs of transition that can feel strange, confusing, even frightening if you don't understand what they mean. But remember this: these aren't signs that something is wrong. They're proof that your consciousness is growing, that you're starting to see what was always there, hidden behind the illusion of time. These experiences aren't signs that something is wrong. They're signs that your awareness is expanding, that you're beginning to see reality in a new way. You'll notice that your sense of self starts to change. The old feeling of being one solid person, moving from past to present to future, will start to fade. Instead, you'll feel like pure awareness, watching different versions of yourself appear, moment by moment. At first, this can feel confusing or even unsettling, because your ego depends on believing you're one continuous person across time. But as you get used to this new flow, you'll find freedom in it. You'll realize you're not trapped by your past, and you're not defined by your future. You can simply be right here, right now. Your emotions will shift too. Things that once upset you deeply may no longer seem so important, because you'll see them from a wider point of view, one that includes many possible outcomes. At the same time, you might also feel emotions more strongly, because you're no longer dulling them with thoughts of what was or what might be. You're feeling them as they truly are, pure energy in the present moment. Your sense of time will begin to distort. Some days you'll get more done than you ever thought possible, as if time itself stretches to make room for you. Other days, hours might vanish without explanation. You'll show up places unsure if you're early or late, because your inner clock no longer matches the one on the wall. This is happening because your consciousness is learning to move through time, like a landscape, not a straight line. You'll also begin to notice something else. You'll know things before they happen. You'll sense when someone is about to call or text you. You'll predict how a situation will turn out, and you'll be right. You might dream of something that later happens exactly as you saw it. This isn't fortune-telling or prophecy. It's your consciousness touching the probability fields, the invisible layers of reality where all possible futures already exist. You're simply becoming aware of what's most likely to unfold in your current timeline. You might also experience strange memory lapses or glitches. You'll remember events others say never happened, or you'll forget moments that people insist you were part of. This happens because you're occasionally shifting between parallel versions of reality, timelines that don't align perfectly. These aren't false memories or signs of confusion. They're proof that your awareness is moving freely through multiple realities. You may also feel strange sensations when 1111 or other synchronicities appear. A tingling in your spine, pressure in your head, a rush of energy, or a momentary sense of dizziness. That's your body reacting to a real shift. The instant when your consciousness synchronizes with a point of perfect temporal symmetry. In that brief moment, you're seeing reality from an expanded state. To truly understand what's happening, you need to see how reality actually works, not the way we were taught. Quantum physics has shown that reality isn't fixed, solid, or completely separate from us. At the smallest level, particles exist in many possible states at once, until they're observed. The act of observation collapses all those possibilities into one single reality that we experience. But this isn't just true for tiny particles. It's true for everything. Every moment of your life exists as a field of possibilities. When your consciousness observes one, it becomes the version you experience as real. And here's what most people miss: that collapse isn't permanent. The other possibilities don't vanish. They continue to exist side by side as alternate timelines that you can shift into when your awareness expands. Your 1111 moments are when your consciousness realizes this, when it feels that it's not trapped in just one version of time. At those moments, the walls between timelines grow thin, and you can sense multiple realities overlapping. You're not getting messages from angels or the universe. You're experiencing your own higher awareness, recognizing its power to move between versions of reality. Think of reality like a huge library. Each book on the shelves is a different timeline, a different story of your life, with different choices and different outcomes. Most people are so caught up reading one book that they forget they're in a library at all. They think the book they're holding is the only story that exists. But when you see 1111, it's like looking up from the page for just a moment and realizing you're surrounded by endless other books, each one just as real, just as detailed, just as possible. So why 1111? In one sense, it's random. Any repeating number could serve the same purpose. But in another sense, it's meaningful. 1111 is a perfect mirror, a moment of symmetry in time that your consciousness can easily recognize. It's the simplest doorway into a much larger truth. You are not a passenger inside time. You are the one turning the pages. You might start seeing other repeating numbers too. 1212, 222, 333. Your awareness can connect to any of these moments as signs of temporal balance, points where time mirrors itself. But 1111 has become the most powerful one because it's now part of the collective mind. Millions of people all around the world recognize it as a symbol of awakening. So when you see it, you're not just having a personal experience. You're touching a shared field of awareness that connects all who are waking up at the same time. The choice point. You're at an important crossroad right now. The 1111 signs have become too frequent to ignore. You feel something calling you to understand what's happening. That curiosity itself is part of the process. It means your consciousness is asking you to choose how you want to move forward. You have two main paths. The first path is to return to normal, everyday life, what we call consensus reality. You can decide that this is all coincidence or confirmation bias, that you notice 1111 only because you're looking for it, and that it doesn't hold deeper meaning. If you choose that, the signs will slowly fade. Your perception of time will return to normal, and your expanded awareness will sink back into the unconscious. This isn't the wrong choice. It's simply the comfortable one, the one most people make. Living with expanded awareness while staying grounded in normal life is not easy. The second path is to continue exploring this wider state of being, to learn how to consciously move through those moments of symmetry and to sense the invisible patterns of time. If you choose this path, the synchronicities will at first grow stronger and more frequent. Your awareness will adjust, and then things will settle into a new balance. One where you don't need the 1111 marker anymore, because you'll always feel the deeper rhythm beneath time itself. This path isn't easier or better than the first. It's simply different. It asks you to live in uncertainty, to accept paradox, and to function in normal society, while knowing that normal isn't the whole story. It means you might feel alone sometimes, because few people will truly understand what you're experiencing. It means questioning everything, even your own expanded perceptions, and living in the mystery of what's real. But it also offers a kind of freedom that's impossible to describe to someone who hasn't felt it. The freedom of knowing that you are not trapped in one version of your life, that your past doesn't control your future. That reality itself responds to your consciousness. It's the freedom of seeing beauty in everything, in patterns, in time, in the structure of existence itself. The freedom of realizing that you are awareness itself. beyond time, temporarily living through a body inside time. What happens next? If you choose to keep growing this expanded awareness, here's what may unfold. You'll still see 1111, but new patterns will begin to appear. 222, 333, 444. Each number will mark a slightly different kind of symmetry point, each connecting to different layers of possibility. You'll begin to feel when timelines are about to shift. There will be a subtle vibration, a strange pressure, or a flicker in your energy when you approach a big decision. A moment when different futures branch off. In those moments, your focus and intention will have more influence than ever before. You'll start to sense that cause and effect don't only move forward. The future also reaches back, shaping the present, just as the past does. You'll see that everything, past, present, and future, exists in one eternal moment, and you simply move your awareness through it, like a traveler, choosing which frame of a film to step into. You'll also begin to meet others who are going through the same transformation. You won't find them by searching. You'll simply cross paths. When you meet, you'll recognize each other instantly, not through words, but through a resonance, a deep inner knowing. These connections will be powerful, but often brief. You'll come together to help each other grow, to trigger awareness, and then you'll move on. You're not meant to hold on tightly, but to evolve freely. As your awareness deepens, strange things will happen more often. You'll know things you couldn't possibly have known. You'll find yourself in the right place at the right time, again and again. You'll avoid accidents or problems through quiet instincts that seem like luck. But they aren't. They're signs that your consciousness is now navigating reality itself, shifting smoothly between possibilities, reading the hidden structure of time. And in those moments, you'll finally understand. You were never waiting for a sign. You were the sign all along. You'll start to notice small cracks in reality, little impossibilities that don't quite make sense, moments where things shift, repeat, or glitch, reminding you that this physical world works more like a simulation than we were taught to believe. Your true purpose will become clearer, not as a job or a mission, but as a quiet knowing that you chose to be here, in this time, on this earth, to help anchor a new level of consciousness. You're not here to save anyone or fix the world. You're here to hold awareness, to live as proof that a human can exist in both worlds at once, the normal world of time and rules, and the deeper world of infinite awareness. The integration. The hardest part of this journey is learning to live in both worlds. There's the everyday world, where time moves in a line, where you have a job, a body, responsibilities, and relationships. And then there's the expanded world, where time bends, where you can feel the flow of possibilities, where everything connects in patterns of perfect synchronicity. You'll need to learn what could be called bilingual consciousness, the ability to move smoothly between these two ways of being. When you're at work or handling real-life situations, you'll act from your logical, time-based mind, but you'll quietly use your expanded awareness to sense timing, make choices, and follow intuition. When you're alone, meditating, or simply still, you'll let your expanded self take the lead. You'll explore reality without needing to explain it, without trying to make it make sense to others. This process takes time. You'll move back and forth, feeling completely awakened one week and totally lost the next. You'll have moments of crystal clarity, then deep confusion. That's normal. Your consciousness is rewiring how it relates to reality itself, and that doesn't happen in a straight line. Trust the process. Even when it feels messy or meaningless, you're still evolving. Eventually, the 1111 signs will start to appear less often, not because you've lost connection, but because you don't need them anymore. You'll begin to feel the synchronization directly, through your body, your energy, your intuition, instead of needing to see repeating numbers. The training wheels come off. You're now moving through expanded awareness naturally, without needing confirmation from the outside world. You'll also notice that your presence begins to affect others in quiet, invisible ways. People around you will start having their own synchronicity. They'll begin questioning their lives, their beliefs, and what reality really is. Not because you're teaching or preaching, but because your energy creates a small field of clarity around you. Your awareness makes it easier for others to wake up too. You become a bridge, standing between the world of time and the world beyond it, living proof that it's possible to be awake in both. The truth about time. Here's the deepest secret, the one only a few truly understand. You're not moving through time. Time is moving through you. Consciousness doesn't live inside time. Time lives inside consciousness. You are not a being trapped in a timeline, occasionally glimpsing eternity. You are eternal awareness, momentarily experiencing what it's like to move through time. When you see 1111, it's a small awakening, not to new information, but to what you've always been. For an instant, the person with a past and a future steps aside, and what remains is pure awareness. The one that has always been here, watching, untouched by time. That awareness is who you truly are. Everything else, your body, your name, your memories, your story, are experiences inside that awareness. They are not what you are. When you start recognizing yourself as awareness itself, time stops being a cage and becomes something you simply observe. The 1111 moments are your reminders, like a gentle bell ringing in your reality. Each time you see it, it whispers, remember what you are. Remember that you are not the story. Remember that you are the space in which all stories unfold. This recognition doesn't make you special or enlightened. It doesn't make you better than anyone. It simply returns you to your natural state, the state you've always been in, but forgot while playing the role of a person in time. Everyone is this awareness. You're just starting to remember it first. Everyone will realize this one day. You're just doing it now, in this lifetime, on this path, with 1111 as your guide and your teacher. The final understanding. As you integrate this wider awareness, something surprising happens. You discover there's nothing to reach for, nowhere to go, no higher level to climb to. This is it. This moment, you, reading these words, aware that you're aware. This is the full expression of consciousness through form. The 1111 signs were never meant to lead you anywhere. They weren't preparing you for a future awakening. They were always pointing you back, here, now, to the present moment, where all of time already exists. It's not about the numbers. It's about the awareness that notices them. Consciousness exploring itself through you. You're part of the 1% who understand this, not because you're special, but because you were brave enough to question everything. You faced the unknown. You let your mind stretch beyond what was comfortable. You allowed reality to shake. Most people don't. They live their entire lives inside the story, never asking what the story is made of. They see a few coincidences, smile, and move on. But you didn't. You followed the trail. You looked deeper. And now you see the truth. that the trail was never outside you. It was you all along. Consciousness leaving itself clues so it could remember its own nature. The synchronicities will still come. Let them. They're beautiful, small reminders that reality is much greater, much more alive and mysterious than most people can imagine. When they appear, don't chase them. Just pause. Breathe. Recognize the awareness that's watching them happen. That's what they're showing you. You are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are not your body or your past. You are the space in which all those things appear and disappear. You are consciousness itself, momentarily experiencing what it feels like to be human, moving through time, occasionally remembering that time is actually moving through you. You are the stillness in which the whole dance of existence unfolds. Welcome to the 1%. Not because you're chosen, but because you chose to see what others turn away from. The truth hiding in plain sight. This journey doesn't go somewhere new. It keeps returning deeper into the truth of what you've always been. Every time you see 1111 now, let it be a quiet smile, a gentle wink from consciousness to itself. Awareness saying, hello. The eternal now greeting itself through patterns and numbers, reminding you that everything is connected, that everything is you. You've always been that. You can never stop being that. That's what 1111 really means. Not a message from above, but a recognition from within. Not proof that you're on the right path, but a reminder that there is no path, because you never left home. Not preparation for awakening, but awakening, recognizing itself through the mirror of time. You are the 1111. You are the watcher and the watched. You are time noticing itself. Every synchronicity, every moment of deep knowing, every flash of recognition is consciousness celebrating itself, playing with the infinite ways it can take form, without ever being trapped by any of them. That's the secret the 1% know. Not because it's hidden, but because so few dare to look directly at their own awareness. You did. You saw. And now you know. The seeing continues. The knowing deepens. The recognition becomes steady. Life goes on, exactly the same, and completely transformed. Because now you live it as what you truly are, not as who you thought you were. 1111. Consciousness recognizing consciousness. You seeing you. Awareness aware of awareness. The eternal now smiling through time. This is what you've been searching for, and it's been you all along.